You've probably seen your fair share of paranormal clips, but have you seen this? This is wild, and trust me, that's just the beginning. Today's episode is packed with cryptids and strange phenomena that'll mess with your head. My name's Steve. This is Classified Captures. Let's take a look at the first bizarre clip. Watch this clip and let me know if you think or feel that there's anything off or odd about it. Did you also feel that this was most likely a man or woman pacing up and down his or her kitchen? Well, that's what I thought until I paid attention to the audio that came with the clip. According to the one who recorded it, the person we see is not human at all. He was allegedly just going about his day as always when he noticed something or someone moving in his neighbor's house. At first, he thought nothing of it, but after 5 minutes, he realized whoever or whatever it was kept moving in the same pattern without stopping. The more he watched, the more he felt an ominous presence, almost as though whoever or whatever this dark mass was not human. He feels that the entity is just pretending to be human and moving around so he doesn't get suspicious. He confirmed that his neighbor was not home, and he insists it's something demonic acting human, so it doesn't get discovered or so he doesn't blow the alarm. I don't know, but the clip looks fairly straightforward to me, more along the lines of a person searching their kitchen for something, but, well, then again, I was not there and didn't feel what he felt. Well, you watched the clip, so what do you think? Also, have you had a similar experience? Well, please share in the comments section.
What the hell is going on in that window? That black blob just keeps running back and forth through that window. Well, it's been going on for like 5 minutes. You just keep going back and forth. It's like a...
Speaking of strange encounters, take a look at this one too.
Wait. My mama's like...
That was not normal, do you think? The clip you just saw was recorded one evening in Malibu, LA by a group of friends, and this was what actually happened. The young guys passed by Escondido Falls during the day. While passing, they noticed 2 strange statues on a private residence. Sure, it looked spooky when they saw it, but they felt it was cool and even went as far as admiring it. When they were returning, however, it was very late and very dark, and then they noticed a figure from afar. When they got closer, they realized that the said figure was one of the statues they'd seen earlier. What made it stranger was the fact that the statue was on the other side of the road and not in the property like they'd seen earlier. Who would move such a heavy thing and why? As they pondered, they got closer. Why? I don't know, but once they were close enough, they realized that the statue had somehow come alive and was making slight movements. They didn't have time to process what they were seeing because the statue wasted no time in launching at them. That brings us full circle to the clip you guys saw in the beginning. They uploaded their encounter online, and while some believed them, others called them out. They felt the whole thing was faked by the boys in an attempt to go viral. But you've seen the clip, so what is your take on this one?
Wait. My mama's like...
The clip starts off like any ordinary clip, showing a beautiful pool with colorful lights to match. This was the actual intention of the individual behind the camera. She wanted to take a beautiful cinematic clip to show off their pool. She succeeded in doing so and went straight in to review her work. While reviewing the clip, however, she started to notice and see things she hadn't seen before. At one point in the clip, she sees what looks like a translucent shadow being or creature suddenly appear from nowhere and move away from the pool. It's faint, and you might miss it if you blink. On second thought, well, maybe you won't be missing it, but anyway, the siblings swear that there was no one with them that day. They didn't even notice it until they decided to review the clip inside. This left them with questions. What exactly had they captured? Were they safe? Unable to answer these, they uploaded the clip to the paranormal community to help. Many were skeptical of its authenticity, but what do you think? Meet Dr. Greer, a former emergency room physician who became one of the most prominent and controversial figures in the field of UFO and extraterrestrial research. You know how we've always shown you guys clips of strange beings appearing translucent or transparent in the clip before, as well as strange beings in the sky that we've no answers to? Well, Dr. Greer believes he has the answers. He believes these beings we normally see are usually aliens or alien-related. According to him, aliens are not just from other planets, but also from different dimensions. He says they're more advanced than humans and can shift in and out of our reality by moving through space and time. This, he explains, is why UFOs seem to appear, disappear, or move in ways that defy our understanding. They're using technology and awareness beyond what we know. Greer also believes we can contact these beings through deep meditation. He teaches that everything in the universe is connected by consciousness, and by calming the mind, people can reach out to them. What we call paranormal, like telepathy or out-of-body experiences, he sees as part of the same reality these beings live in. To him, real contact comes from expanding human awareness, not building better machines. What do you think?
So there are phenomena that are emerging from other dimensions that occasionally interface with this dimension of 3D space-time, and people will call them alien, but they're not. A lot of people will see something like that, and there is evidence for strange, like Stranger Things, right? And those can be from another dimension, but they're not extraterrestrial. An extraterrestrial biological entity is from another star system and planet. To go from point A to B, they are dropping out of linear space-time and traversing other dimensions. So some of the phenomenon that's extraterrestrial looks very, very close to something from another dimension.
Are there actual superhumans living among us? In this video, we see a room full of people, and there's an older man among them. He has his hand stretched out toward a piece of paper being held out by someone else. And in just a few seconds, the paper starts to burn. The people in the room are all fascinated by this, and some are filming the whole thing while others are clapping. It's said that this is part of an ancient practice where some individuals can harness their inner energy, known as chi, to generate heat or even manipulate the physical world. If that's true, what does that mean for the rest of us? Could we all have that kind of power hidden inside, waiting to be awakened? Or are there really people out there walking amongst us who have tapped into something truly extraordinary? The world keeps getting scarier by the day, and honestly, the lengths some people go just to make money is alarming. We all know that organ donation is supposed to be a noble thing. You pass on, and your organs help save another life. But there are now reports claiming that agreeing to donate your organs puts you at greater risk while you're still alive. According to these claims, people who've signed up as organ donors have, in some cases, allegedly been given less aggressive treatment in life-threatening situations. Because some hospital staff might prioritize preserving organs over fighting to save a life. There are stories of people who never signed up for organ donation only before their bodies to be found mysteriously missing, organs missing also after death. It's horrifying, and if there's any truth to it at all, it means a system built to save lives might be hiding something much more sinister. But are these just wild conspiracy theories, or is there something real behind the stories we keep hearing?
A kidney is like 40 grand US. A heart, you can up to 250 grand. All of that's ridiculous.
Reporting reveals that there are very good reasons to be hesitant about putting yourself down as an organ donor on your driver's license. Why exactly are we pairing organ donation with getting a driver's license? I mean, no other government program works like this. Even with the motor voter law, there are still a handful of DMVs that don't ask about voter registration. Organ donation stands alone as the only issue that every DMV, without exception, is fixated on. You know, aside from like actually driving. They're not interested in signing up for a gym or helping you file your taxes or making sure you know how to service your car or finding you a quality gutter cleaner or any of that. Human organs are the one thing on their mind.
A Reddit user recently shared a photograph. The image was originally taken by her grandmother, who had a strange and unsettling experience with her television. According to the post, the grandmother was at home when she suddenly noticed the TV screen showing an odd image. It wasn't playing any program, and there was no sound, yet clear as day 2 figures were on the screen. It was a woman standing beside a younger boy, and they appeared to be in some kind of open flat area, like a plain or field with what looked like a vast body of water, or even the ocean in the background. According to the grandma, they were just standing there looking at her through the screen. She was so disturbed by this, she took a few pictures of the screen, which is what we're looking at, and then the TV went off. She turned the TV on, but they were no longer there. Now, this wasn't just her imagination because she took a photograph of it. Some users wondered if it was just a paused frame from a movie, but the grandmother swore the TV was off, and the way the figures looked at her didn't feel like a movie. Others are saying that the old woman could be onto something, and that the people on the screen were watching her. What do you think? This strange sound has been making the rounds for years, and it's said to come from the deepest hole ever dug on Earth. According to reports, this sound was captured from the Kola super deep borehole in Russia, which goes more than 12 kilometers, about 40,000 feet into the Earth's crust. Scientists initially drilled it to study the Earth's layers, but what they allegedly discovered was something they never expected. When they dropped a microphone deep into the hole, they captured a series of eerie, bone-chilling noises, and when filtered and enhanced, the sound resembled the wailing and screaming of countless voices, like the cries of tortured souls. This led to people calling it the sounds of hell. Some believe this recording is evidence of a literal pit of hell beneath the earth. Others argue that hell isn't located on or in the earth, but in another dimension altogether. Then again, there's a whole group of people who think this is just proof that there's something mysterious and unexplained deep within the earth if it's not hell. Skeptics have called it a hoax or just misinterpreted natural sounds, but no matter what side you're on, there's one thing we can agree on. The sound is definitely unsettling. What do you think? This woman was out exploring when she stumbled across something strange in the ground. While someone was filming her, she opened what looked like an old hatch, and inside was a dark, mysterious chamber. At first it seemed like just an abandoned space, but as the camera peered deeper into the darkness, something strange appeared. A hazy, shadowy figure emerged in the blackness. It had what looked like 2 glowing eyes staring back up at her. The figure hovered for a moment, and then it slowly backed into the darkness, vanishing from view. The woman and a friend who was recording didn't see anything unusual while they were out there. It wasn't until they reviewed the footage later that they noticed the figure watching them from below. What could it have been? Could it have been a cryptid, or maybe just a simple illusion? Whatever it was, it's unnerving to think they were that close to something out there and didn't even know it.
We have to do it now. Holy Are you? This is insane. Oh. There's a flashlight in my backpack. Go get the flashlight.
Someone shared this eerie video they took one night from their home, and it has everyone talking. It starts off looking like it's about to rain. The sky is dark and heavy, and there's that weird stillness in the air before a storm. But then something bizarre happens in the clouds. Up in the sky, there's this glowing ring-shaped formation, and right in the center of it is a triangular shape slowly moving through the sky. It doesn't blink or fade like a plane or drone would. It just floats calmly up there. Some people think it's something reflecting off the camera lens, but others are convinced it's a portal or possibly even a UFO, with that triangle being part of the craft or something passing through. But the way it glides across the sky doesn't feel like anything normal. What do you think? While you share your thoughts on that one, take a good look at this footage of the sky. Does something look off? No? Well, pay attention to the clouds. There's something unnatural about them, isn't there? The more you look, the more it becomes obvious. There's a square shape in between the clouds. It almost looks as though there was something in the middle of the clouds that was using it as camouflage, yet it somehow failed. Once the clip was uploaded online, some in the community favored the potential UFO in the sky theory. To them, there could be no other explanation. A few others also felt this was most likely the illusion created by the formation of the clouds. A few others viewed this as a glitch in the Matrix and a sign that our world isn't really real, but one we've been made to believe is real. I know that's a mouthful, but you get it. There are also a few who claim this was most definitely AI. You've seen the clip, so what do you think? Now, watch this. What just happened here? All we saw was a man walking into a scene. He stands for a few seconds, then he starts throwing his hands at something we can't see. He fights this thing for some seconds, then drops to the ground. He starts convulsing and his friends rush there. That's it. That's all that happened, and, well, that's not normal. After discussing the scenario with my team, different theories came up. Some think he was trying to get rid of a fly or an insect he was allergic to. He tried his best, but couldn't get rid of it, which led to him being stung and then convulsing as we see. That sounds like a great theory, but there are some issues with it. First of all, we don't see a fly, but that can be explained as it being too small for us to see. There's also the fact that he quickly convulsed. Not sure I know of an allergic reaction that's that fast. Some in the team also think he might have encountered a spiritual being that put him in that state. The person states that we see nothing because it's a spirit. Finally, there are some in my team who think it's nothing more than a medical condition. They think he might have had a pre-existing condition that caused him to see things and go into that state. Which of these theories do you think is the most likely explanation? Speaking of things that need explanation, well, can you explain this? Yeah, that's definitely not normal, or even real, right? The uploader of the clip insists that it really did happen. Some of us feel it's AI, while others think it's CGI. Take a good look and share your thoughts. If you think it's real or could be, kindly explain what just happened. These days, it's nearly impossible to go anywhere without seeing some kind of tech device. From smartphones and smart TVs to Wi-Fi routers, security cameras, and even robotic vacuums, technology has made its way into almost every corner of our lives. But most people overlook the fact that these devices are far more intrusive than they seem. Take smart TVs, for example. Many of them track what you watch and send that data back to advertisers. Voice assistants like Siri or Alexa are constantly listening, waiting to be activated, but sometimes they pick up more than just your commands. Wi-Fi routers can track your browsing activity, and smart light bulbs can figure out when you're home or away based on your lighting habits. Even robotic vacuums have been known to map out your entire floor plan. And it gets more concerning. There have been real cases where authorities or third parties gained access to private security camera footage without the homeowner ever knowing. That means the very devices meant to protect your home could be silently watching you in return. Our homes are the most private places in our lives, but have now become hubs of data collection. Yet these devices have been so convenient in our routines that living without them now almost feels impossible. This photo was taken in the 1930s in an old Catholic church. At least that's how the lore concerning this image goes. If you pay attention to the image, there's a man sitting there who's a bit translucent. Logical me would have explained it away with something along the lines of shutter speed and all that stuff, but that's not how the owners of the image interpret it. According to them, the image was taken in the pews that were empty. There was absolutely no one there. When the images were developed, however, this particular one had the man you see on your screen sitting in it. The man looks like a priest with the costume or mode of dressing to match, but some think he's a ghost, whereas others feel he might be a saint. There are some in the paranormal community who also think the image, as well as the story associated with it, isn't true. When you've seen the image, so what's your take? Agree with any of these opinions, or do you have your own? We've always said Bigfoots like to mind their own business and stay away from people, and if that's true, well, how do you explain this? If our sources are right, this clip comes from Mantua, Utah, USA, and it shows a man encountering the big guy in the woods. The big guy sees the man and then growls at him. I initially thought it was going to be followed by an attack or something along those lines, but the big guy just walks away. The explorer, as we like to call him here, gets home and goes over the footage he captured on his trip to make sure he has the footage. Surely enough, he did, leading to the upload. Looking at its fur and bulky physique, many are convinced that's the real thing, that you've seen the clip yourself.
So what do you think? Bigfoot or maybe just a guy in a costume? Let me know what you think in the comments below.
You know how we always get to see these clips and never see the face who recorded them? Well, this one's different. This clip was recorded by a lady who was at a sleepover with her friend. She felt something was watching her, so she whipped out a smartphone and began to record. After all, in this age and day, evidence is everything. Now pay attention to the clip. Does something seem off? Yeah, we see a dark figure peeking at her from the bathroom, but that's not what I'm referring to. When she initially uploaded the pic, everyone was focused on the dark figure, from some even stating that it could be a witch spying on her and her friend. After the clip had been online for a while though, someone pointed out that the lady's face was far from the face of someone who'd been seeing something spooky. To the person, it was almost as though it were the face of someone pretending to be scared or spooked. In other words, the person is trying to say that the uploader just faked the whole thing for views and likes. After watching the clip over and over, I'm tempted to believe that is the case, but what do you guys also think? A very alarming and tragic story has been making the rounds recently, and it has many people deeply concerned, especially those who love to spend time in the water. It involves a young boy who'd gone swimming in Lake Murray, located in South Carolina. At first, it was just a regular day of fun in the water. But things took a turn shortly after he returned home. He began to feel ill with headaches, fever, and nausea, and it quickly worsened. His family rushed him to the hospital, but what the doctors discovered was horrifying. He'd been infected by a brain-eating amoeba. Sadly, despite medical efforts, the boy did not survive. This amoeba is a deadly microorganism found in warm fresh water, especially during the summer months. It typically enters the body through the nose and travels to the brain, causing a devastating condition called primary amoebic meningoencephalitis. The survival rate is extremely low, and symptoms often appear too late for effective treatment. Cases like this are rare, but are terrifying. There are so many people coming forward with stories of out-of-body experiences where they say they see their physical bodies from outside of themselves, like their soul or consciousness is temporarily left. Some describe floating above their beds while they sleep, while others say it happens during trauma, meditation, or even surgery. It's such a bizarre and fascinating phenomenon, whether it's spiritual, psychological, or something scientific, that hasn't just been explained yet. So I want to hear from you in the comments section. Have you ever had an out-of-body experience, and what did you see, feel, or hear during that time? At first glance, it might look like there's nothing happening in this footage other than someone clicking around. Pay attention though, there's someone or something out there in the dark. Did you see her? Where did she come from? Why was she there, and where did she go? The one recording the clip was very surprised by the whole thing. He didn't expect to see a lady in the wilderness just pop up and then disappear as quickly as they came. Some think she's the spirit of the forest, others think she's a ghost on a mission. A few others think she's a woman in a costume trying to make money by tricking us into giving her more views. You've seen it? As always, what do you think? We have this strange piece of security footage that was captured at a park at night, and honestly, it's one of the most unsettling clips I've seen in a while. In the video, everything seems quiet at first, but then something walks by. At first glance, you'd think it's a person until you really look. The figure is humanoid, yes, but it has no head. Its arms are long and almost dragging on the ground, and the way it's moving is just not normal. It's bent backward as it walks. The motion is slow, deliberate, and completely unnatural. When this footage was shared, people were understandably shocked. Many could not explain it. Some people said it could be a ghost or a spirit, while others suggest it might be an unknown entity or creature tied to the land. A few skeptics claimed it was a trick of the camera or a person in costume, but, well, even that doesn't fully explain the way this thing moved. So what do you think it is? Here we have another strange case caught on the property's security camera. The footage was recorded late at night, and everything starts off quietly until this strange glowing flash suddenly crosses the camera lens. Just moments after that flash, a dark humanoid figure walks by. What makes this footage even more unsettling is that there's no visible person or object that could have cast that shadow, and yet the figure clearly moves across the screen, triggering the camera's motion sensor and setting off the alarm. That means something real passed in front of the camera. So now, the mystery has two layers. First, what was that glowing thing that appeared right before the figure showed up? And secondly, what exactly was the shadowy figure? Some people are saying it looks like a spirit or an entity. Others argue that it's all a hoax. What do you think is going on here? What in the world is going on here? This bizarre clip comes from security footage taken in what looks like a dimly lit room. On the bed lies a doll dressed and positioned eerily like a patient in labor wearing a gown. Its legs are spread. Ugh, already creepy, right? But out of nowhere, this odd humanoid figure crawls into the room. It slides right up to the doll, pushing its upper torso beneath the gown, as if interacting with or inspecting it. The figure looks almost like someone in a costume, like an alien or something, but the entire setup is unsettling beyond belief. Is this some kind of weird art performance, or are we witnessing a ritual or bizarre roleplay? We can't say for sure, but the internet is divided. Some say it's performance art, others think it's a prank, and if you wonder if it's something paranormal or ritualistic, what do you think? Take a look at this picture. At first glance, it looks completely normal. A man is sitting quietly in his living room smiling at the camera, but if you look a little closer just behind him, there's a hazy shape in the background. When the image was zoomed in, viewers noticed something chilling. That hazy figure behind him seemed to form the outline of a face. Not just any face, though. The man in the picture had lost his father just the year before. This was his first Christmas without him, and according to him, the face in that haze looks exactly like his dad. He truly believes that his father came back to spend Christmas with him. Now, whether it's a camera glitch or something more, well, who's to say? But it does raise an interesting question. Can loved ones really visit us from beyond, especially during the times we miss them the most? Conspiracy theorists have always seemed to have like a sixth sense when it comes to certain secretive, questionable government projects. It's almost like they can sniff out the things the rest of the world isn't supposed to know, and time after time we've seen these so-called crazy theories turn out to have some truth to them. Some of these projects sound like science fiction. There are things like killer robots, weather control, time manipulation, DNA experiments, cloaking technology, and even reverse engineering of UFOs. Things the average person would probably laugh off. But little by little, bits of information slip through, declassified files, leaked documents, and suddenly the crazy theory doesn't seem so crazy anymore. Whenever people bring these things up, they get dismissed, labeled as paranoid or delusional. But isn't it strange how often these wild claims turn out to line up with reality years or even decades later? So if some of it has turned out to be true, well, what else are they hiding? This couple was doing that popular TikTok trend where both parents run in opposite directions and the child is supposed to follow their favorite. It's meant to be a lighthearted moment, and for the most part, their video seemed just that. But when they posted the footage, people noticed something really strange in the background. If you look closely, right by the porch of their house, there's a faint shadow. It moves slightly from right to left. It looks like a person, but darker, more shapeless. It doesn't match anyone in the shot, and there's no clear source of the shadow. It's not a tree, it's not a reflection, not even something easily explained by the camera. So the question is, was it just some kind of camera glitch, or could it have been an actual entity lingering nearby while the family played around? Creepy to think about, right? Especially when you're just trying to make a fun video and something else shows up in your frame. There are a lot of unique animals out there, and sometimes due to rare birth defects or just nature being unexpectedly created, we get to see some unique creatures. Take a look at this unusual bull that was spotted grazing in a field. Its horns curve all the way around, forming a near-perfect circle on its head. This isn't your typical horn structure. It's rare, symmetrical, and honestly kind of beautiful in its own way. People who saw it in person were stunned, not just by how unusual it looked, but how calm and majestic the bull also looked. Some are saying it's a result of a unique genetic twist. Others think it might be a rare breed or a deformity that just happened to turn out awesome. What do you think? This video went viral the moment it hit the internet. It showed what looked like a lion casually standing in a supermarket right by the meat freezer, sniffing or even chewing on some meat on display. And just as wild, there was a person in the frame who quickly bolted past the line in a panic. People were freaking out. I mean, imagine being in a store and suddenly seeing a full-grown lion in the meat aisle. The lion had somehow walked through town and made its way into a mall supermarket. But it's not real. Turns out the whole thing was generated using AI, and honestly, it's really well done. So much so that tons of people believed it was actual footage. This just goes to show how realistic AI-generated videos are becoming and how easy it is to be fooled even by something as wild as a lion shopping for meat in a grocery store. Cameras are everywhere these days, so nothing stays hidden for long. This clip is going viral and it was taken at a Coldplay concert. A couple is seen wrapped in a warm embrace, swaying together like they're in their own little world. But once they realize the camera's on them, both immediately panic, pulling away and trying to hide their faces. Because it turns out the man is a well-known AI startup billionaire and the woman is his head of HR. The problem is both are married to other people. As soon as the clip hit the internet, everyone was talking about it. Within days, the man resigned from his company, and the memes practically exploded across social media. But that's not even the wildest thing going viral. Over in China, a much stranger story has taken off. A person known online as Sister Hong was believed to be a woman. But as it turns out, Sister Hong is actually a 38-year-old man who disguised himself to lure men into his home. He did not take money from them. Instead, he asked them to bring food, gifts, and essentials, and then he secretly filmed these encounters and sold the footage online. Reports suggest that around 700 men were involved, one of them married. Now that the video is leaked, a lot of those men are facing shame and ruined relationships. Digital deception can go too far, and living in an age of constant surveillance and online footprints leaves no room for secrets.
So be careful out there with whatever you're doing, because you never know if someone's watching you. And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
A homeowner was woken one night by the doorbell ringing. When they looked through the window, there was no one there. They waited until the next morning to check the security camera footage and made a chilling discovery. In the video, a thin, glowing line was floating in front of the door. The object moved in a very intentional manner, and when the bell rang, the object seemed to pulse in rhythm before floating away. At first, people suggested it was a spider web. However, upon closer inspection, it became apparent that this was no ordinary web. One commenter proposed a fascinating theory, that this was an invisible cloak that interacted with cameras. If true, it means someone could have been using advanced technology to give the homeowner a ghostly scare. But what do you think this mysterious object could be? It looks like we're getting closer to the futuristic tech we see in sci-fi movies. The latest innovation, the world's first screenless laptop, the Spacetop GI. This laptop comes with built-in augmented reality AR glasses that project a virtual screen, making it feel like you're working on a 100-inch display without the need for a physical monitor. Imagine having a massive workspace that fits in your backpack. The Spacetop GI runs on Space OS, an operating system designed just for this device, ensuring everything runs smoothly. It's powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon QCS8550 processor, so it's got plenty of power under the hood. With its sleek and modern design, the Spacetop GI is all about boosting productivity in a visually stunning way. Picture yourself setting up a massive digital workspace wherever you go, all with a lightweight laptop and a pair of AR glasses. The Spacetop GI is set to hit the market in October with a price tag of $1,700. Would you consider getting one? This image dates back to the 18th century and was found in an old home. It's a tiny human-like skeleton lying on its side with delicate wings on its back. On seeing this, the only thing that comes to mind is fairies. You know, those magical creatures we all loved as kids and believed to be purely imaginary. But what if they weren't just figments of our imagination? What if the stories we heard involving them were actually real, or at least based on real beings and real situations? If you're skeptical, take a look at these skeletal remains. The bones are small, but the structure is undeniably human-like, and the wings. There are no creatures in nature that will fit into this body. It's got to be something more, something different, something ancient. It's almost as though the tales of fairies, which we thought were just whimsical stories, might have been real accounts passed down through generations. But then again, perhaps my excitement is blinding me to the truth. What do you guys think? Take a look at this dog. Something is definitely off. Just watch its movements. There's an eerie, unnatural sway as it growls, baring its teeth in a menacing way. It's not just the aggressive posture, but the almost otherworldly way it moves that has people talking. Some believe this dog might actually be a skinwalker. According to Native American folklore, a skinwalker is a shape-shifting creature often depicted as a malevolent witch capable of transforming into an animal or taking on its characteristics. The unsettling movements and behavior of this dog have fueled these suspicions, with many pointing to the folklore as a possible explanation. But what if it's something else entirely? Could it be a medical condition affecting the dog's nervous system, causing these strange movements and aggressive behavior? Neurological disorders or even rabies could potentially explain such systems, though they would still be deeply concerning for the dog's health and safety. Now let's dive into a fun fact. Did you know that there are animals that seemingly do not die of old age? One fascinating example is the crocodile. These ancient reptiles do not have a finite lifespan in the ways many other animals do. Instead, they continue to grow and live for an incredibly long time, providing the conditions are right. Crocodiles don't die of old age. They continue to thrive and grow bigger year after year. The primary reasons that they die are due to illness, starvation, or being killed by predators or humans. Under optimal conditions, a crocodile can live for decades, showcasing nature's remarkable design. I found this fact astonishing and quite incredible. Did you know about this? It certainly adds a new layer of intrigue to these formidable creatures. Next, we move on to a strange footage that was allegedly captured at the Nicaraguan cathedral. The video shows a winged creature climbing up to the top of the cathedral and then flying off. The one who uploaded it believed he had captured a gargoyle. Originally, before the fantastical interpretations, gargoyles were animal carvings placed on buildings, mostly cathedrals and other sophisticated structures, serving as water spouts to direct rain away from the buildings. Beyond their practical use, they also had spiritual significance and were believed to serve as guardians, protecting the building from evil spirits. According to legend, these statues could come to life. But when you look at this footage, it seems a bit too cartoonish to be a real gargoyle. The movements and appearance of the creature don't quite match the stone-like ancient feel we associate with gargoyles. Could this be a hoax or some clever CGI? Julius seems to think so. Aaron, our conspiracy theorist, thinks it could be real. Personally, I'm on the side of Julius, but you guys let me know what you think. deep-sea camera captured this creature in the ocean depths, which has left many baffled. This bizarre creature was a fish with the head of a boar with horns on its head. The original poster dubbed it the sea boar. This unusual sighting has piqued the curiosity of many, including myself and my team. Intrigued by the footage, we conducted extensive research, scouring scientific databases, marine biology records, and even folklore archives for any mention of such a creature. However, we found no documented evidence or references to a creature resembling this so-called sea boar. This discovery raises several intriguing possibilities. Could it be a new species that has eluded scientific classification until now? The ocean's depths are still largely unexplored, and new species are discovered regularly. This creature could be an example of deep-sea gigantism or an unknown evolutionary adaptation. Either that or it's just AI. What do you think we're looking at? If I told you I knew with certainty what this is, I'd be lying, and Julius isn't here to help, but thankfully we can still use our powers of deduction to come to an educated guess. As you can see, the individual in the clip uncovered this ancient artifact and brought out some parchments from within it. They aren't written in English, so we can't really tell what it says. For some weird reason, though, the individual burns it and goes on to keep exploring the items in this artifact. He brings out another artifact, which he cleans up and puts on as a ring. It's hard to say if it's some form of ancient ring or if he's just making wrong assumptions. Either way, the clip ends shortly after he puts it on. Naturally, this has us asking questions. Where did he go? What's the history behind those items? And why did he burn the parchment? If anyone can answer any of them from the clip alone, then please help us out in the comments section. A couple was out one night when the woman noticed something strange in the sky. There was a patch of clouds glowing in eerie orange, and in the middle of this glowing patch was a thick vertical line. What could this be? Is there something behind the clouds that's causing this unusual reflection, or are we witnessing something otherworldly? The sight left both of them baffled, and they managed to capture it on camera. The glowing clouds and the mysterious vertical line have sparked a lot of questions. Is it a natural phenomenon, some kind of atmospheric event, or perhaps a glimpse into something beyond our understanding? You've seen the clip as well. Let us know what you think. We got a clip that reminds me of the Cloak of Invisibility from Harry Potter. This time, however, there are dogs involved. Take a look. You might probably be wondering what's happening here. Allow me to explain. A man was out with his dogs when they picked up the scent of something or someone and went after it. Here's the thing though, while the dog chased after whatever it was that they had picked up, the man couldn't see anything. He found the behavior odd and started to record. He thought his dogs were out there just being crazy and spoiled. That's at least until whatever they were chasing pushed back. At that moment, the man was startled, confused, and a little scared. Who can blame him? Did you see anything or anyone? No, right? Fortunately for him, he had captured the whole thing on camera. Whatever was behind the movement was not seen again. He had to retreat with his dogs because he felt it wasn't very safe. On his return home, he watched the clip over and over and over, but just couldn't place his finger on what he was dealing with. He uploaded it online and many theories came up. Some thought it had to be a cloaked alien exploring the woods. Some also thought it might be a Sasquatch that had found a way to cloak itself. Others also thought it might be a paranormal or otherworldly entity. Looking at it, it could be any of these things. My team members say if you look hard enough, you can see a humanoid creature in the clip. You guys have seen the clip too, so what do you think? If Bigfoot and other creatures from folklore can be real, it certainly makes you wonder what other things we see in movies might have a grain of truth to them. Take this footage for example. A resident noticed something strange happening at her neighbor's house one morning. Perched all over her house were white owls, at least 10 of them. Remember the scene from Harry Potter where owls deliver letters? While the owls here aren't as numerous, it's still eerie to see so many of them gathered like this in real life. It makes you think, doesn't it? What could have drawn them all to this particular house? Could there be something more to it, or is it just a curious coincidence? It seems we can never go a day without new footage of a strange object in the sky. If it's not an orb, then it's some kind of craft. This time a man was in his apartment, gazing out over the city lights, when he noticed something unusual moving in the sky. Instinctively, he grabbed his camera and started capturing images. What he captured was a craft, at least that's what it appears to be. There's a long blue light running along the bottom of the object, with smaller red lights dotted its edges. The craft itself is shrouded in darkness, making it impossible to see its shape or structure. Only the eerie light formations are visible against the night sky. But what do you make of these images? Is it just another piece of evidence of something otherworldly, or is there a more mundane explanation? This was allegedly discovered in the desert, but for the many war movies and games I've indulged in, I would have thought this was alien. It, however, looks like an unmanned aircraft or drone. It was found by ordinary folks who recorded and uploaded their discovery online. You would have expected some government to claim it at this point in time, but no. At the time of making this video, whoever uploaded it stated that no government had claimed ownership of what it is, which is odd. No military likes to lose their toys, which makes this odd. But do you also know what militaries dislike the most? Their actions being exposed to the general public. What if their drone was on a secret mission when it crashed? If that's the case, it would make sense that the military would delay acknowledging it's theirs until they had their story straight. That being said, many think that this is a US drone. If that's the case, they might not have the clearance to operate in the airspace of Yemen. This might explain their hesitance to claim ownership, but then again, those are just my thoughts. What do you guys think?
23 هذا مقبل ولا ده 14 حرام له 23 مخطط
This giant fish had washed ashore, and you can already make a wild guess where the rest of its body is based on the massive bite marks covering it. Oh, the ocean really scares me. Just think about the caliber of fish that have caused this kind of damage. Even this head alone is bigger than the 3 men holding it up. Imagine how much larger its predator must be. The sheer size and power of whatever creature took a bite out of this giant fish are truly mind-boggling. The ocean is home to some incredible and terrifying creatures, and this serves as a stark reminder of the mysteries and dangers lurking beneath the waves. This was all I wanted to say about this video, but Julius thinks there might be something more at play here. He believes that a propeller could have done the damage due to the nature of the cuts on the fish's skin. For the first time in a long time, I'm challenging Julius's stand. Who do you think is right? Myself thinking it's a giant fish, or Julius thinking that a propeller might be responsible? Still on strange foods, we've got this.
Ay, pero por mucho, ¿por qué hacen Mira. Mira, hasta se me abrió las... Estoy diciendo que mira qué humo hay.
Now, for this one in particular, I've got no answers. I mean, it's not every day you see a green sauce giving off lighting or electricity sparks and sending smoke to the atmosphere. I have no words for it, sincerely. If you have an idea of what's going on here and have answers, then please do share them with us in the comments section, as we'd love to know.
¿Por qué hacen Mira. Mira, hasta se me abrió las... Estoy diciendo que mira qué humo hay.
Around so I can work on it a bit. You hear that?
This man was deep in the Alaskan Triangle, a region notorious for its mysterious and often eerie occurrences. He'd set up his tent in the middle of the wilderness and was working on something late at night when he began to hear some strange noises. Let's listen closely. The sounds outside his tent were unlike anything he'd ever heard before. It was like two very large animals were giggling just beyond the thin walls of his shelter. Initially, he thought it might be wolves, but the noises didn't quite match up with what you'd expect from those animals. The Alaskan Triangle is known for its many reported sightings of Bigfoot, leading some to believe that what we heard that night could be something far more mysterious. You heard the strange sounds, right? So what do you think? Next, we have another chilling encounter shared by a homeowner retrieved from the home's backyard security camera. In the footage, we see a woman taking her laundry from the drying line. Suddenly, she starts to look around as if she hears something unusual. Her movements suggest that she was spooked, but we can't see or discern what it might be. As the woman hurriedly leaves the area, we make a bone-chilling discovery. Below the fence, there's a hole, and through it, a pale head is sticking out, intently watching the woman. Now we understand why the woman was acting so strangely and quickly left the scene. But what creature is this? It certainly doesn't look human. Could it be an animal, a cryptid, or something more sinister? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. I've always held the view that there should be a limit to adventures, but maybe that's just me being spineless. Take a look at this bone-chilling footage shared by an adventurer who went into the woods to explore an abandoned building. The trip was cut short when they saw something terrifying. From one of the windows, the person outside filmed a creature standing inside the house, pressing its face against the dirty glass. The creature had a thick, heavy face and pale skin. Nothing human about it as it stared menacingly at the person outside. It was like a scene from a horror movie, and the adventurer wasted no time running away. What could this creature be? Some say it could be a ghost or a paranormal entity, while others speculate it might be some unknown cryptid. Whatever it is, it's enough to make anyone think twice about exploring abandoned places alone. This footage was taken by a man who had noticed something moving in his house. He had security cameras installed and would occasionally check the live feed on his phone while he was away to ensure everything was okay. During one of these routine checks, he noticed something strange. There on the live feed was a ghostly orb, a white smoke-like entity floating around the room. It moved slowly and almost deliberately, weaving in and out of the furniture as if it were exploring the space. Intrigued and a bit unsettled, he hurried home, and right before he entered the house, watching the feed again, the entity was still there, floating eerily. But as soon as he entered the house, it vanished without a trace, no sign of it anywhere. He checked every room, corner, and crevice, but there was nothing unusual. The entity was gone, leaving him with only the haunting footage and a sense of unease. This is so weird. The entity just vanished. Was it a ghost, a spirit, or something else entirely? What do you think happened? Back in January of this year, 2024, a Trailcam owner set up a camera in the woodlands of Alberta. They were responding to reports of wolves in the area and hoped to catch a glimpse of them. What they captured, however, is something you have to see to believe. In the Trailcam capture, you can see a path flanked by thick bushes on both sides. Now pay close attention to the left side of the screen. About 3 feet from the camera, a buck's head briefly emerges from behind the brush before quickly retreating. But that's not the most intriguing part. On the opposite side, something truly extraordinary happens. Emerging from the brush, you can see a bipedal creature that stands about 7 to 8 feet tall. It moves stealthily, blending in with its surroundings. It's easy to miss, camouflaged so well among the trees and leaves. But if you look closely, it's clear that this is no ordinary human. The bulging muscles and massive legs are enough to confirm this being is built differently. The Trailcam owner is even convinced that what we are seeing is the big guy himself, Bigfoot. And honestly, it's hard to argue with that assessment given its sheer size and the way it moves. But then again, maybe these are just the words of a longtime Bigfoot enthusiast. So for objectivity's sake, what do you guys think is going on here? You would be amazed at the number of weird things that have been found on Google Maps. A TikTok user was snooping around the map, zooming in on some green lands, and there in the middle of the woods was this. A large, hairy creature standing there. The creature looks about 8 feet tall with an ape-like appearance. Did this person just find Bigfoot on Google Maps? The figure is visible and distinct enough to make one wonder if it's the elusive creature so many have sought for decades. The sighting has sparked a flurry of debate and speculation online, with some convinced it's genuine evidence of Bigfoot's existence and others skeptical, suggesting it could be a prank, a misidentified animal, or simply a shadow. What do you think? Next, I came across this bizarre footage that left me scratching my head. It was recorded by someone who had found a ring tangled in the roots of a tree. This has to be one of the weirdest things I have ever come across. How did the ring get there? Was it purposely placed there, or did it just fall and accidentally get stuck in the roots? Or is this some sort of spiritual or cultural practice? If there's anyone who knows anything about rings in tree roots, please share your thoughts in the comments. This mystery has got me really curious. Have you ever heard about secret government missions that send soldiers to retrieve unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAPs, that crash on Earth? Sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? But here's the kicker. The same government that allegedly conducts these missions also refuses to admit that UAPs exist. Even more intriguing, they're supposedly setting people up all over social media to discredit such claims. Yeah, that's wild. Listen to this and tell me what you think.
They don't want the public to know that there really is a crash retrieval program and that we are monitoring UAP in our airspace and water space. We can't control their actions and we don't fully understand their intentions. That's a dangerous thing to leak to the public, and so they are deliberately falsifying it and exploiting people, making them appear as wackos, thus creating a stigma behind the whole scene, which has prevented serious scientific study.
The disinformation is just to discredit whoever is...
Yeah, and it's happening overtly today. That office is doing it. There are individuals who I will not name, who I believe are getting paid. Every day they get out online, and their number one job is to discredit these national authorities. People like Lou Elizondo, who was with the task force, the UAP task force. He is 100% who he says he is, and what he says he's seen and knows, I have total confidence in. He's an active target.
One of the few people brave enough to speak up about these things is a man called Luis Elizondo. He's a former Pentagon official who led the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or AATIP for short. Elizondo has been quite vocal about the existence of UAPs and has even hinted at these secret retrieval missions. He believes there's much more to the story than what the public is being told. It's a fascinating and somewhat unsettling topic. If these missions are real, what are they finding? Why the secrecy? And what does it mean for our understanding of the universe and our place in it? I'd love to hear what you think about this.
We can't control their actions, and we don't fully understand their intentions. That's a dangerous thing to leak to the public, and so they are deliberately falsifying it and exploiting people, making them appear as wackos, thus creating a stigma behind the whole scene, which has prevented serious scientific study.
A woodcraft survivalist in the UK once built a wooden shelter in the woods for camping, but came back the next day to find it dismantled. Initially, he thought it was the work of kids or vandals, so he set up a trail camera in the area to catch whoever was responsible.
There's a figure at night time that's in the right-hand side of, I believe it's camera 6. Starts off, comes out of the woodland, and then all of a sudden it seems to trigger the camera again, but whoever it is shouldn't be there. They haven't got permission to be there. It's only me. I've phoned the landowner Chris.
What he found, however, left him both excited and shocked. In the dead of the night, the camera captured a dark figure moving among the trees. The creature was bipedal, and its structure suggested it was quite large. Once he saw the creature, he had his own theories, but he uploaded it online to see what others would say. Some thought it was a person moving around in the dark, while others believed it had to be our favorite big guy, Bigfoot. Being the Bigfoot enthusiast that he is, he'd already concluded that there was a high possibility that the being was Bigfoot. He just needed to confirm, and the fact that some thought it was the big guy himself was enough proof for him. You guys have seen the clip. What do you think we're dealing with here?
There's a figure at night time that's in the right-hand side of, I believe it's camera 6. Starts off, comes out of the woodland, and then all of a sudden it seems to trigger the camera again, but whoever it is shouldn't be there.
And I see these. He's like throwing an angel baby on the floor or through the roof. It's like little, but it has horns on top.
A woman was walking by a building in Fresno when she noticed something strange. On this building, there were some rather odd-looking statues. The statues were strange and unsettling. One of them appeared to be a winged creature, almost like a gargoyle, tossing a baby angel. There were other equally eerie statues, along with some unusual paintings covering the building's exterior. What could this all mean? Some are speculating that it could be linked to a cult or some kind of hidden symbolism. What do you make of this?
And I see these. He's like throwing an angel baby on the floor or through the roof. It's like little, but it has horns on top.
Here we have another heartbreaking story of an animal lost to extinction, the kauai, a bird native to Hawaii. This species officially went extinct in 1987, and the last known individual, a male, was seen in 1989. The kauai was once known for its distinctive flute-like song that echoed through the Hawaiian forests. However, as their numbers dwindled due to habitat destruction, invasive species, and other environmental threats, this poor bird found itself utterly alone. In a final, heart-wrenching moment, the last male was recorded singing a mating call, hoping to attract a female that no longer existed. Stepping away from all that violence, we turn our eyes to a man that keeps a list of the good and the naughty, Santa Claus. If you blink twice, you might miss it, but thank God for replay in slow motion. Do you see it now? There's something or someone in what looks like a sleigh with reindeer moving through the sky at lightning speed. Who do we know that fits the bill? Yes, Santa Claus. But how? He's supposed to be a figment of our imagination, right? Something told to kids to help them act right for their end-of-year gifts. Well, it turns out that's not the case if this clip is to be believed. What do you think, though? Is Santa real? Let us know your stance and the reason for your stance in the comments section. While you do that, it looks like I need to have a conversation with my parents. Still on the strange and bizarre, take a look at this next clip. Pay attention to the fingers. Did you see it? His fingers all of a sudden turned the other way. He even had to drop his pet out of pain. When Aaron sent me the link to the original post, he titled it Ghost Attack, and the moment I watched the clip, I knew why. Many who saw the clip also shared similar views. They believed that this was nothing more than a ghost attack at the supermarket. I find that highly debatable, but nonetheless decided to check the comments section of the original post. Take a look at some of the things I found. This guy stated he had experienced similar. Another mentioned that his pet was probably the way it was because it saw something the man didn't. Others tried to point out that it was nothing more than a finger cramp. You've seen the clip as well, so what do you think? Speaking of things I need your help explaining, take a look at this. I'm pretty sure I may have shared this in the past, but it's starting to go around again in the paranormal community. The individual recording was allegedly waiting for his DoorDash when he noticed this being outside his window. After a while, he heard knocks and went to check if the DoorDash had arrived, but it hadn't. Instead, it was this being or thing or entity watching him from a distance. Naturally, he was spooked, which led him to record his experience. Do you think this is real, though? If you do, what do you think that is?
I'm pulling the chicken off in chunks. I'm just pulling it off in chunks. I can rip this chicken open. Like, that's disgusting.
The individuals noticed that the chicken breast they bought looked rather odd, and as they were washing the meat, it just started to fall apart so easily. Just look at that. When you take a closer look inside the chicken, it almost appears to be made of thick, fibrous strands. This doesn't look like normal chicken at all. What could possibly be going on here? With so many concerns about food quality nowadays, everyone seems concerned. What's your take on it?
I'm pulling the chicken off in chunks. I'm just pulling it off in chunks. I can rip this chicken open. Like, that's disgusting.
In 2020, a Facebook user by the name of Shanique Legacy, who lives in Florida, went live and shared a disturbing experience with his followers. He believed that a dog man was lurking around his house and terrorizing his family. This still image taken from his live video captures a blurry yet unsettling figure emerging from the trees. The image shows a creature with dog-like ears and one of its eyes reflecting light, giving it an eerie glow. The snout is very evident, and the creature seems to be looking directly into the camera. According to Shanique, the creature has been spotted several times around his property, often late at night. It will make strange noises, scratch at doors, and move quickly through the shadows, leaving the family in a constant state of anxiety. Despite setting up cameras and motion detectors, they could never get a clear image or understanding of what they were dealing with until this live broadcast. Once they saw the image, they believed it had to be the Dogman. The phenomenon of the Dogman is not entirely new. There have been numerous reports and alleged sightings of such creatures across different parts of the United States. They're often described as a large bipedal wolf-like creature with a human-like posture. Shanique's live video quickly went viral, garnering attention from both believers and skeptics. Some viewers were convinced that the image captured a genuine cryptid, while others argued it was a case of mistaken identity or even a hoax. What do you think, though? Not just about Shanique's story, but about Dogman in general. We've got a mind-blowing video sent in by one of our subscribers that you absolutely need to see. Let's dive into it. In this video, you see a man in a hoodie standing right in front of the camera. Everything seems normal at first, but then out of nowhere, something bizarre happens. The man suddenly gets sucked up into the sky until he completely disappears from view. Check it out into slow motion. It's just unbelievable. Look at that. Some people are saying this is an alien abduction. I've heard plenty of abduction stories, but this one is wild. The way the man is pulled up so quickly and vanishes without a trace is truly eerie. But here's the thing, it looks very unreal. While I'm not here to debunk alien abductions, this footage looks more like it's been edited, don't you think? A man was filming one night when suddenly something extraordinary happened. Out of nowhere, a huge ball of light blasted across the sky, trailing colorful streaks behind it. The light illuminated the entire area for a brief moment before vanishing just as quickly as it appeared. Along with this spectacle, there was a loud, thunderous boom which echoed across the landscape. If you listen closely to the footage, you can hear the rain falling steadily in the background. But what exactly was that? Some people are speculating it could have been a comet or something along the lines of a fireball entering the atmosphere. You've seen the clip. What do you think it is? I always say this, hospitals are one of the biggest hotspots for ghost activity.
So you show it. How do you tell a ghost to show it? Look at the heart rate. Make your heart rate speed up if you're a ghost. Make your heart rate speed up if you're a ghost.
In this video, a group of nurses entered a room and were shocked by what they found. The heart monitor was on, actively reading someone's vitals, but this is the strange part. The room was completely empty and the machine wasn't even plugged in. This left the nurses convinced that they might be dealing with a ghost. On one of them, curious if the spirit was trying to communicate, asked if it could increase the heart rate. To their surprise, the monitor showed exactly that. The heart rate sped up. The nurses were all in shock, unable to believe what they were witnessing. I mean, you're definitely seeing everything I'm saying on your screen right now. The big question now is this real? Is this genuine? The paranormal community is divided. Where do you stand?
Rate speed up if you're a ghost.
If aliens or otherworldly beings were to appear, the first thing to do would be to present them with our first line of defense, the military. But what happens if these forces have already made contact or, at worst, been infiltrated? While you think about that, watch this clip. In the clip, we see an orb coming out of a military site. It then keeps ascending from the territory, flies into the sky, and vanishes. We often associate these orbs with alien activity. So what does this mean? Is that orb truly alien? If it is, does it mean our military already made contact? According to the one who uploaded the clip, this is something that's happened repeatedly over this particular base. Once this clip and information got to the paranormal community, theories started to spring up. Some thought this was evidence that our military had been compromised. Others thought the orb might just be part of a military experiment to test out new equipment and artillery. No matter how you look at it, if this clip is legit, then we have a cause for concern. Or do we? What do you think of this whole thing? Kindly share your thoughts in the comments section. This bucket of fingerlings was brought in by a fisherman. At first, he assumed what he had in the bucket were fingerlings belonging to some ordinary local fish. But as we take a better look, he realized that these guys were no regular fish. He picked up one fish into his palm, and as the fish wiggled about, 2 wings spread from its sides, and it leapt off his palm. When I saw this first, my thought was, flying fish. As fantastical as the name might sound, flying fish are extraordinary creatures that can make powerful, self-propelled leaps out of the water, where their long wing-like fins enable gliding for considerable distances above the water's surface. This is usually a defense mechanism to evade predators. My assumption was that these had to be fingerlings, and I was prepared to tell you that they were until Aaron, our conspiracy theorist, asked me to pay serious attention to the clip. Once I did, I realized that just because the fish flies out of the man's hands, it somehow transforms into a small bird with feathers and wings. Now that I think about it, the bird does look like a hummingbird. But how do we get from a flying fish to a hummingbird? 2 things. Either this is a digital manipulation, or we've got some serious paranormal activity on our hands, literally. A couple went hiking up Klingman Dome while making their way along a woodland path when they noticed something unsettling. It was a creature standing in the trees watching them. Despite feeling uneasy, they decided to keep moving. But the creature did not stay hidden. It seemed to follow them from a distance, silently trailing them through the woods. And then finally it stepped out from behind the trees, revealing itself fully. That's when the couple snapped this photo. What they captured was astonishing. It was an 8-foot-tall figure that looked unmistakably like Bigfoot. They were in complete shock, frozen in disbelief by the sight of the massive creature. They later shared this to the paranormal platforms they were a part of, stating they might have encountered Bigfoot. What do you guys think? In this clip, an anonymous man shared a very curious sighting online. He managed to capture something strange in the sky. It was an object with a bizarre shape. According to him, the object was roughly the size of a car, but he couldn't quite figure out what it was. The footage shows this unidentified object hovering in the sky, almost as if he doesn't belong there. And people are buzzing about it, with many speculating that it could be a UFO. What say you? If you are someone with a taste for exotic cuisine, then you might want to try this out. This is suo dui, which basically means suck and throw away. The meal is prepped with these pebbles, so they basically absorb the flavors of the ingredients being thrown into the hot pot. And no, you don't eat them, you suck on them, as the name implies. They also complement the taste of whatever is being prepared. In this clip, we can see the rocks are seasoned with chili, purple perilla, garlic, and rosemary. It's quite the spice fest. And the good news is you don't have to worry about bringing back the stones. You can suck on them as much as you want and then reuse them if you want. Bold men apparently invented this to cater for days and seasons when they had less to eat. Necessity is the mother of all inventions, after all. Is this something you see yourself eating or preparing? Let us know in the comments section. Years ago, the brilliant inventor Nikola Tesla developed a device called the magnifying transmitter. For the longest time, this invention baffled scientists who couldn't fully grasp its purpose or potential. Most believed that Tesla intended to use the device to transmit energy through the atmosphere, a concept they thought would be inefficient and impractical. However, a deeper dive into Tesla's research and patents revealed something astonishing. They had it all wrong. Tesla's true vision was to use the device to transmit energy not through the air, but through the minerals in the ground. The transmitter would send energy through the earth, and the receiver, positioned elsewhere, would collect that energy. This method, Tesla believed, would be far more efficient and could potentially provide limitless energy across vast distances. The magnifying transmitter came in two crucial parts, the transmitter and the receiver, working together to achieve this groundbreaking form of energy transmission. Next, we've got this footage that was shared by a man claiming he'd captured a Bigfoot in the woods and brought it home. In the video, you can see the creature bound by its hands and legs lying motionless. At first glance, it appears lifeless and you'd think it was dead. But then, unexpectedly, the creature opens its eyes. It's a startling moment and it looks directly into the camera. He was showing this off as his trophy, and just like the previous clip, not many are buying it. So what do you think? Is this genuine evidence of a Bigfoot, or could it be something else entirely? Here we have another strange case that some are calling a matrix glitch. A woman was parked in a lot when she noticed something really bizarre. There were 3 identical cars parked near her. One was in front and the other 2 were on either side. The cars were the same make, model, and even the same color. Now here's the really strange part. Although it's not visible in the footage, the woman claimed that all 3 cars had the same license plate number. That's just too weird to be a coincidence. What do you think is going on here? A glitch in the Matrix or something else entirely?
Yo, there's a UFO in New York City, y'all. Yo, it's a UFO in New York City. Yo, look at the beams.
Here we have another UFO sighting, this time in the heart of New York City. A driver stuck in traffic noticed something unusual in the night sky. A bright glow was emanating from behind the clouds, and as he zoomed in with his camera, it revealed a peculiar horizontal arrangement of lights. But what could this be? As if the sighting wasn't strange enough, a large ray of light suddenly shot out from the glowing lights and splashed across the sky for a brief moment, illuminating the area. Just as quickly as it appeared, the ray faded and the glow returned to its original state. Many people watching this footage were quick to claim that this was a UFO, pointing to the mysterious nature of the lights and the sudden flash as evidence of something otherworldly. However, skeptics were less convinced. One commenter offered a more grounding explanation, explaining, "Those are just the high beam lights on top of the building at Bryant Park. Stop it." So is this really an unidentified flying object or just an illusion caused by city lights? Share your thoughts.
Yo, that's a UFO in New York City, y'all. Yo, it's a UFO in New York City. Yo, look at the beams.
لو سمحت يا جماعة التنانين بتلف حوالين العمارة عندنا. لو سمحتوا بعد إذنكم أنا في منطقة في ظهر العروبة. لو سمحتوا التنانين.
And no, you aren't seeing things. This is actual footage. At least that's what the one who uploaded it said it was. To give you a bit of context, a lady was out at the beach relaxing until she caught a glimpse of that. The creature to her looked like something that belonged to a prehistoric era, as it had a long body with wings resembling those of a bat, and yet somehow retained a bird-like appearance. It was almost as though she was looking at a dinosaur soaring through the sky. But that shouldn't be possible, right? They're extinct, or at least they're supposed to be. She uploaded this seeking clarity, and as always, different opinions were flying left and right and center. When it got to our studio, Julius, the ever-skeptic, suggests that this might be a cleverly constructed model, perhaps something built to mimic a creature from the past. What's even more shocking is the fact that Aaron, our conspiracy theorist, is tempted to side with Julius on this. Weird, right? Anyway, you guys have seen it. What do you think?
لو سمحت يا جماعة التنانين بتلف حوالين العمارة عندنا. لو سمحتوا بعد إذنكم أنا في منطقة في ظهر العروبة. لو سمحتوا التنانين.
A hiker was out exploring the mountains when he stumbled upon something extraordinary. As he climbed higher into the highlands, he noticed a large creature perched on a massive rock. The creature had thick white fur and was sitting upright, almost human-like in posture. From its size and proportions, this was no ordinary animal. Its massive frame and humanoid shape resembled a Bigfoot. The sighting has stirred up quite a bit of speculation. Could this be an extremely rare version of the elusive Bigfoot, an albino variant? Many people have shared their theories, but no one has come up with a definitive explanation. What do you think? Possession. Most people see it as people getting taken over by some sort of entity or spirit. But is that really the case? Well, let's take a look at this footage. In the clip, a young man is seen writhing in a dirty gutter, his body thrashing wildly. No one knows what led to this moment or why he suddenly lost control. 1 minute he was fine, and the next he was flailing uncontrollably, eventually ending up in the gutter. The behavior is erratic and his movements seem unnatural, fueling the belief that this could be a case of demonic possession or spiritual influence. But skeptics say it could have been a medical condition or even a psychological break that caused his actions. What are your thoughts? We have another subscriber submission to share. They sent in some intriguing footage taken up in the mountains of British Columbia. In the picture, you can see a dark, huge figure standing on the mountain slope. The figure looks massive and imposing, but it's pretty far off to say for certain what it is. The shape and size match descriptions of the legendary Bigfoot, which is often said to inhabit remote forested regions like this. However, the distance makes it difficult to be certain. The mountains of desert Columbia are known for their dense forests and vast unexplored territories. It's the perfect setting for such a mystery. Many Bigfoot sightings have been reported in this area over the years. What do you think? Is this really him, or is it just another case of mistaken identity? Now, this is where I draw the line. Some things seem to be getting way out of hand. As you can see in the video, there appears to be a creature that looks like a dog with a fishtail and fins. What are we even looking at? How is this even possible? Well, naturally it's not. It can't be possible. That leaves us with one offender, AI. These days, AI is taking things too far. It looks almost real, but it's not something that can be possible. Well, scientists can do anything these days, but still, this seems a little over the top, don't you think? The blending of species like this is something that has always been left to myths and legends, but with advancements in AI and digital manipulation, we're seeing more and more of these bizarre and impossible creatures. It's fascinating and unsettling at the same time. The realism of these AI-generated images and videos can be deceiving. It's crucial to approach such content with a critical eye and not take everything at face value. While technology can create some stunning and believable visuals, it's important to remember the boundaries of reality. Have you ever noticed how ancient architecture built long before modern technology seems far more intricate and complex than the skyscrapers we see today? Well, maybe that's an exaggeration, but you get the point, right? The ancient world has massive buildings with impossible proportions, elaborate sculptures, towering castles, and finally detailed shrines. Yet, despite all our technological advancements, we no longer build like this. But why? Some believe that ancient civilizations had advanced technology that enabled them to create these architectural marvels, but over time, humanity experienced a great reset, losing all knowledge of it. Others theorize that we weren't alone, but higher beings may have helped guide these constructions, especially since complex mathematical concepts weren't formally developed until much later. So if we supposedly didn't have the tools or calculations back then, how did we do it? Could there be a missing piece of history that we aren't being told? Will we ever discover it? Kindly share your thoughts. Imagine seeing this crawling up your wall. For the man who recorded this, it was no imagination, but reality. He woke up one day and noticed there was something unusually large moving on his wall. Thinking he wasn't seeing right, he got closer, and that's when he saw it in his full glory. A huge four-legged creature with a long tail. The appearance was unsettling. It looked almost like a giant rat. Its tail and ears were distinct, but what stood out even more was its patchy fur, suggesting it might be suffering from mange or some kind of disease. The creature looked weak and sickly, making its presence even more disturbing. Members of the community couldn't help pointing out that the creature looked like some kind of hybrid between a rat and a lizard. Looking at it, I must say I can see where they're coming from. It really does appear to have both rodent and reptilian features, but that's not possible, is it? Well, some members of the community think this could be the work of AI. You've seen the clip, so what do you think? Now let's plunge into the mysterious depths of the ocean. A deep-sea camera positioned 421 meters underwater was quietly filming a squid when something extraordinary happened. Out of nowhere, a burst of light streaked across the screen, moving downward at an incredible speed. It was bright, luminous, and eerily swift, leaving scientists and viewers alike stunned. What could this be? Could it be a bioluminescent creature, a species yet to be discovered with abilities that seem almost otherworldly? Or perhaps it's something entirely different, like sonoluminescence, a phenomenon where intense sound waves in liquid create brief flashes of light. Take a closer look. What do you think? A new deep-sea life form, a natural phenomenon, or something we have never seen or began to understand? Let us know your theories below. Do you see anything unusual? No? Well, take a look at the left side of the capture. Do you see it now? A family went out but realized their home security cameras were picking up movements. This prompted them to review the clip, and they saw what looked like a ghostly girl standing in the corner. They asked it to get out, but perhaps if it were me, I'd be the one getting out because I don't think I'd be winning in a battle with an evil spirit. What say you?
What was that?
A home security camera overlooking the ocean captured something strange in the middle of the night. When you look closely at the ocean toward the far left side, for a split second you can see an orb zipping into the sky. It moves so fast that if you blink, you might miss it entirely. These days, many reports suggest that UFOs and UAPs are not just coming from the sky, but also emerging from the ocean. Could that be what we just witnessed? Was this a UFO taking off, or was it something else entirely? Half of my team believes it's a UAP or UFO, the other half thinks there's a logical explanation, but which side are you on? Let's take a look at this next footage captured by a trail camera deep in the woods. At first, the video seems pretty ordinary. You see a deer grazing peacefully, minding its own business. But then, out of nowhere, something startles it. The deer looks up, freezes for a moment, and then bolts away as fast as it can. Now, deer are naturally jumpy creatures. As prey animals, they're hyper-aware of any sudden movements or sounds. But what could have spooked this one? At first, there doesn't seem to appear to be anything out of the ordinary. The other side of the woods looks calm and empty. However, zooming into the area where the deer was looking, you can make out a shadowy figure. It's faint, but it's shaped like a person moving through the trees. Could it be a hiker? Maybe. Perhaps a ghost hiker. When you hear Appalachian, you already know the story is about to take a wild turn. This footage was shared by a resident living near the Appalachian Mountains. Late at night, he was returning home when he noticed something strange in his neighbor's driveway. There on the lawn was the shape of what seemed to be an invisible creature. The faint outline of its form could just be made out, but it didn't seem to make sense. He stared at it for a while before realizing it looked like a goat standing there calmly munching on his neighbor's lawn. Take a look. Do you also see a goat or something else? A man who lives near the woods started hearing loud screams for help. At first, he thought it was someone in danger, so he grabbed his hunting rifle and a camera and went out to search for them. But instead of finding a person, he found this. At the top of a tall tree, a bear cub was clinging to the branches, crying out, and the sound it made was eerily similar to a human voice screaming for help. This reminds me of those strange sounds often heard in the woods that some believe are skinwalkers mimicking human voices. Some argue that the bears can mimic sound, which might explain what was happening here. But bears aren't exactly known for mimicking human speech. So what exactly is going on here? Are we the ones reading meaning into the sounds, or does this explain those strange cries people hear in the forests? Hard to say, but please share your thoughts. Some boaters spotted something unusual while they were out in the ocean. A pink dolphin. Just look at that. Unlike the typical gray dolphins, this vibrant pink dolphin was swimming right alongside the others. The footage doesn't look fake at all, and the dolphin's color seems almost like something out of a Disney movie. But this isn't an alien or unnatural phenomenon. There are real-life pink dolphins known as Amazon river dolphins, also called the boto. These freshwater dolphins are found in the Amazon and Orinoco river basins in South America and are known for their distinctive rosy pink skin, which becomes more vibrant with age. Scientists believe their coloration comes from a combination of genetics, blood vessel density, and scarring from social interactions. While Amazon river dolphins typically inhabit freshwater rivers, there have been cases where similar-looking pink dolphins have been spotted in ocean waters. Some believe these could be albino variations of common dolphin species, while others speculate that they might have wandered from their usual habitat. China's latest tech innovation introduces a fascinating concept. It's a team of snail-inspired robots capable of remarkable collaboration. These robots, developed by researchers at a Chinese university, are designed to work together in dynamic environments. As seen in the demonstration, the snail bots can tackle obstacles by creatively using their collective abilities. For instance, when faced with a gap between two rocks, they climb on top of one another to form a makeshift bridge, allowing the group to continue moving seamlessly. Their ability to attach, balance, and cooperate with precision highlights their advanced design and potential. This innovation has exciting implications, particularly for tasks requiring teamwork in hard-to-reach or hazardous environments, such as disaster response, exploration, or even industrial automation. What are your thoughts on this unique robotic creation? The internet is packed with fascinating content, some of it real, some outright hoaxes, and others that leave us scratching our heads. Here's one that falls firmly into the not-so-sure category. Let's check it out and see what you think. A man set up a camera in the woods, connecting it to his phone for remote monitoring, and was casually watching the feed when something bizarre happened. Out of nowhere, a massive creature walked by, but here's the kicker. Only its legs were visible as it moved out of frame. The man was convinced he'd just spotted a dinosaur. Intrigued? Well, let's take a closer look at the footage. There it is. Strange, right? But after watching it a few times, I'm not so sure. To me, it looks almost like the legs of an elephant. The size and movement seem to fit. What about you? Dinosaur, elephant, or something else entirely? Let us know your thoughts below. Still on conspiracies, if we can call this one that, we got one of those science clips that makes me wish I'd paid more attention in school.
Nobody has an explanation for this yet. Nobody has an explanation for how the world can shift from like it is now into this in a few thousand years, and how it can shift from this back to an interglacial age like we're in now in a few thousand years. Nobody has that explanation yet. Now, given that, should we say that the debate about climate change is over? I don't think so.
This guy's asking questions, big ones. Specifically, how has our planet changed so drastically over the past 1,000 years? To answer, he basically says no one knows. He mentions Earth going through interglacial periods, recovering, and then slipping back into the same state. He points out that such shifts require energy, yet there's no clear explanation for where that energy comes from or what triggers this so-called transfiguration, if we can call it that. Then, with a grin, he teases that he knows the answer, only to brush it off with a laugh. So what do you think? Are his questions legit? Does he have a point? Or is he just leaving out key details to make things sound more mysterious than they actually are?
So how, for 5 or 6 or 7,000 years, literally, you're going to turn on something that's half or 3/4 again as much solar energy, heat energy, as available in the Saharan desert, and you're going to turn that on this ice sheet continuously for 5 or 6,000 years until the entire mass is gone. Who has an explanation for that? Nobody. Well, with a couple of exceptions. Me,
Next, we got another clip sent in by a subscriber called Jill. Hey, Jill. She wanted us to review this one and confirm if it was real or not. She believes it's a glitch in the Matrix, but with the number of AI clips out there, she's not really sure. The clip starts off normally, seemingly showing a man serving clients in a fast food restaurant. After a few seconds in, and you realize that the clip isn't exactly what you call normal. The man moves unnaturally, and his neck follows the same pattern. There are some who believe this is the real deal, and there are also some who think the whole thing is fake and definitely AI generated. I'm tempted to lean towards AI, but if this is real, then those guys in the background did a great job to avoid disrupting the performance. Either way, what do you think? When it comes to tales of spirits, science often explains these things away as nothing more than frequencies, waves, or illusions. But did you know that some of the world's most brilliant scientists and inventors speculated that these so-called spirits, entities, and higher beings might actually exist? Yes, Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison, two of history's greatest minds, were among those who entertained such beliefs. Back in 1901, Nikola Tesla published an article titled Talking with the Planets, where he claimed to have made contact with entities from beyond Earth. Using a device he created, Tesla reported hearing strange voices that sounded like beings communicating in an unknown language. Similarly, Thomas Edison, known for his revolutionary inventions, worked on something he called the spirit phone. This device, according to him, was designed to help communicate with spirits from the beyond. The audio you're hearing now is a representation of what Tesla described hearing: mysterious, otherworldly signals. What do you think? Could these scientists' legends have been onto something? I know you're tempted to think this is some devil worship, but it's not. Welcome to the Krampus parades, or Krampusschlaf. If you're hearing it for the first time, it refers to the traditional alpine events in Austria, Germany, and nearby regions where performers dressed as the terrifying Krampus storm through the streets to scare and entertain. Wearing elaborate wooden masks, fur costumes, and clanging cowbells, these Krampuses chase spectators, creating a mix of fear and excitement. Rooted in pre-Christian pagan traditions, the parades celebrate Krampus, the demonic counterpart of St. Nicholas who punishes naughty children. It's often held in December around St. Nicholas Day. These wild events are filled with roaring, laughter, and fire-lit spectacles, blending folklore with festive fun. Is this something you would want to attend? Moving on, a man was driving when he noticed something incredible on the side of the road, prompting him to pull over and start filming. Right there, hovering in the sky, was what appeared to be a flying saucer. It was a classic, disc-shaped object floating effortlessly. The sight was so unbelievable that he wasn't the only one who stopped to capture it. As he turned his camera around, it became clear that multiple people had also pulled over, all pointing their phones at the mysterious object. The footage looks remarkably clear. There's no blurriness and no sudden camera movements that might suggest trickery. You know what? Yeah, scratch that. That was a shake and there's a noticeable blur because it's fully zoomed in. But the way the object remains suspended in the air without any visible means of propulsion only added to the mystery. Some skeptics argue that it's just an advanced drone or experimental aircraft, but others believe this could be undeniable proof that we're not alone. What say you? A passenger on a flight was filming above the clouds when they captured something unusual. Did you catch that? It's an oddly shaped object moving rapidly toward the aircraft before it suddenly stops, glows, and zips past. Speaking of its odd shape, the object appears to be cylindrical in shape and was moving at an incredible speed. The big question on everyone's mind when this was uploaded was, what are we looking at? The answer isn't exactly a straight one. Some think it's a UFO, whereas others think it's some new military invention out there for a test run. It's hard to say what exactly it is, but if this clip is indeed true and genuine, should we be worried about the planes in our skies? Our next clip was captured on a home ring camera on an 8th of December 2024. It did capture some truly bizarre footage that has left viewers stunned. Take a look. In the dark night, two glowing lights appear, flying silently across. One is in the lead, with the other following closely behind. Although the craft itself is invisible due to the darkness, the brightness of these lights is enough to suggest that something unusual is in the air. Now, let's think about this. It's highly unlikely that someone was out at this hour releasing fireworks. Not only do these lights lack the erratic bursts of fireworks, but they also move steadily across the sky in what appears to be a controlled manner. So could this be evidence of a UFO, or is there a more mundane explanation? Aaron, our in-house conspiracy expert, doesn't seem to think so, but what say you? A woman was standing on the side of the road when she experienced something truly baffling. She noticed, reflected in the glass near her, a car approaching her from the front. The headlights and the motion were clear, and it seemed like the car was heading straight toward her position. But then, as the car got closer, something inexplicable happened. Instead of coming from the front, as the reflection had indicated, the car suddenly appeared from behind her. It passed her from behind and drove away, leaving her stunned and confused. How could this be possible? Was it an optical illusion caused by the glass, or could it be something even stranger like a glitch? Julius looked at me funny after I said all this and asked me if I knew how reflections worked. Guys, is my paranormally blessed brain causing me to miss something? According to the sources, people woke up in the middle of the night to find this woman climbing down from their neighbor's house. She stumbles backwards and falls. Then she crawls on all fours into some small bushes nearby. As you can see, the people are just watching and filming her. When the footage got online, the claim was that she was a witch. But look at this and listen to my theory carefully. A drunk woman attempts to climb down a building but gives up and ends up falling to the ground. Out of embarrassment and an inability to stay on her feet, she crawls behind some plants to hide. And instead of helping her, these people just stand there filming and calling her a witch. This is just absurd. But that's society today. Everyone wants to be the one to break the news, so they all watch her struggle, and the only thing they can think of is to record. Jeez, what the hell's the world coming to?
¿Pero para dónde va?
Mira eso, Satana. Le voy a enterrar que tú me el mismo joven.
¡Comieron humanos! ¡Asquerosidad! ¡Comieron humanos! Yo no estaba enterada de nada. Que había, o sea, no sé si las sí, pero que habían comido humanos.
This footage is from years ago and involves a supermodel named Gabriella. She just started gaining recognition in her career when one night something disturbing happened. Gabriella was spotted outside screaming and yelling. She seemed terrified, completely hysterical. When the police arrived to take control of the situation, she kept repeating the same shocking claim, saying that they were eating human flesh. But who was she talking about? Well, according to reports, she'd been invited to an elite party, and whatever she witnessed during that event shook her to her core. This isn't the first time we've heard a bizarre story surrounding the elite. There have always been rumors about what happens behind closed doors in these high-ranked people in society. So, was this just a breakout, or did Gabriella see something that she was not supposed to?
¡Humanos! ¡Fuera la carne humana llevan! ¡A mí no me llevan hasta que se los aclare! ¡A mí no me llevan! ¡Ustedes!
A woman had put her baby to sleep one night and was keeping an eye on the child through the baby monitor. Sometime in the middle of the night, a child woke up, so she glanced at the monitor to check what was happening. That's when she noticed something strange. A baby was in the crib as usual, crawling on all fours, but facing the side of the crib that was near the wall. Now here's where it gets unsettling. When she looked at the wall, she saw the image of another child, an older one, crouched down, directly staring at the baby in the crib. That wasn't terrifying enough. At the top of the monitor image, there appeared to be the face of a man staring down at the baby as well. Here's the chilling part. The woman has only one child, the one in the crib. The other child on the floor, that wasn't hers. The image is a bit hazy, but the eerie clarity of the crouching child and the face above makes this sight even more haunting. Since that night, the woman no longer lets her baby sleep alone. She keeps the child with her at all times. But what are the entities in that room with the baby doing? Some tourists had visited the Grand Canyon when they captured something truly bizarre on video. A bat was seen hanging right at the edge of a cliff. At first, it looked like a typical scene until they noticed that the bat wasn't moving quite right. One of its wings seemed stuck to the rock. But then the camera zoomed in, and there it was, a giant centipede clutching the bat's wing. This thing was massive, far bigger than your average creepy crawler. The tourists were stunned, and honestly, well, so were we. Centipedes are known for being aggressive hunters, especially the largest species, like the Amazonian giant centipede, but seeing one this big in action like that is wild. So how big can centipedes actually get? Some species can grow up to 12 inches, 30 centimeters or more, but whatever this one was, it looked like it came out of a horror movie. Could it have really attacked the bat, or is it just a strange coincidence that they ended up tangled on that cliff edge?
That's a big It's a centipede. Yeah. That's a good sized bat, too. Look at it.
And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode, so we can't wait to receive what you have.
I've been Steve. This has been Classified Captures. Share this with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.